Hi, welcome back to Raunchy Reality Recaps. Now, in this episode, we're going over life after lockup with Justine and Michael. Now, in this episode, we start out with Michael talking to his son, Michael Jr. And apparently Michael Jr. is now staying with them. His mom and Michael thought it was a good idea since he's getting older and he missed so much time with his dad that he goes and stays with his dad, which I think is great. I think being locked up for 6 years and being that far away from your kids, I think it's great for him to actually have his kids with them and him raising them and him know what it is to be a father, a full-time father. So that's great. And then in the next scene, they're at a coffee shop, all the kids and Justine, and then Mike pulls up. Apparently he was going to his parole officer to see if he can go to Las Vegas. Now, he ends up, messing around with Justine a little bit, but then finally comes out and tells her that, yay, they did get the ability to go travel to Las Vegas. And I think the kids were a little bit happy until they found out that, nope, it's just the parents. And I kind of feel sorry for the kids in here because they literally moved everything and had to wait for years just for the two adults to go on vacation. And I mean, his son too is over there, hasn't seen you in 6 years, and now you're going to go on vacation. So I kind of felt bad for the kids. They really should have thought about taking the kids either with them or have a little miniature vacation, at least, somewhere in their state to go to have fun for a few days for the kids. So that way the kids get something and then the parents can go on their trip. I just think I wouldn't have done it. So anyways, Mike has to find somebody to watch these kids. And the most reliable person he knows is his sister. And unfortunately, that's the sister that Justine got into it with the last season. After Justine got into it with Mike's mom and his sister came to defend her mom, which, come on, it's her mama. Everybody gonna defend their mama, if their mom's a good mom. So, yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, so she came in and defended her mom, and then her and Justine got into it a little bit. So, of course, naturally, Justine's going to be like, oh, I bit the hand that's probably going to sit there and watch my kids. So, she's like sitting there thinking, is she really going to watch them? Because we kind of got into it. It's mostly Justine's kids that she's going to be watching, and then one of Mike's kids. So, luckily, though, Mike's sister is a wonderful person because she basically is now going to watch them for 8 days starting the next day, and then she has to drive to go get there. That is, I don't know about Mike or his family or anything, but that's not common for, at least my family, people that I know. I don't know one person, unless it was a family medical emergency, that they would be okay with dropping whatever they did, driving a whole bunch of miles and just go watch some people's kids or family members' kids for 8 days. I don't know that, but I wish I had his sister as an auntie. So she ends up coming over, I completely forgot about the phone call Mike did. So after that, though, after he calls his sister, he goes outside to make a phone call to, I think, his manager or something, and they tell him that he can go down to Las Vegas. And of course, his manager's like, yeah, we get you a loan and everything. And Mike's like, no, Justine's coming too. My lady's coming too. And that's when his manager's like, they're trying to sell Mike on being single. And that's hard for him to do when he has Justine taped to him. Which, I think his manager needs to get over that because he's on Love After Lockup, a national TV show. So, they're going to find out if he's single, married, or whatever. So, he gets off the phone with him after telling him, she's going to come with me. And you're just going to have to deal with that. So he goes back to Justine, tells her, I think his guy was Moki or whatever, is having an issue and wants him to come by himself and everything. And Justine's like, no, we're going to move. I need to scout out Las Vegas and everything. And his manager doesn't need to be getting in my way, getting in between them. And I think his manager probably thinks she's the Yoko to his John Lennon. So I think, he's not liking it too much. But hey, dude, I don't think Mike would be as famous as he is now, or maybe he would, but he got a lot of publicity from being in Life After Lockup and Love After Lockup. So I think the manager needs to realize, hey, a lot of that came from him being with Justine. So we'll see how that plays out next week, probably. So they end up going back to the house. I think it's probably the next day. And Justine's on the couch and she's talking to her daughter. Her daughter's like, "Are you excited for his sister to come?" And Justine's like, "I wouldn't say excited." And she explained to him, she's like, she's kind of weary about her watching the kids because basically what they got into the last time they were together. And I mean, that's valid, because I wouldn't want somebody that I got into with it watch my kids. But apparently Mike's sister seems like a very forgiving person and a very nice person if she's willing to watch her 3 kids for 8 days. So I think Justine needs to let up on worrying about if she's still mad at her. So they end up coming over, his sister and her wife, and they hug with Justine and everything. And they get to talk and everything, and Mike's sister ends up saying that it's kind of 50-50 with Justine. They kind of got into it, but she thinks Justine and her are both doing things to try to get back in the good graces because they are family now. So Mike ends up saying, "Hey, we're going to go get a coffee and everything. We'll be right back." And Justine was like, "Well, I wanted to go too, but I guess I'll take a nap." So, Mike and his sister and her wife end up getting in the car and going to a store. And his sister's like, "Hey, were you trying to surprise me?" Or I think Mike said he said something, he wanted to surprise her because he wouldn't tell her where they were going. And that's when she was like, "Are you trying to surprise me with something? Because the last time you surprised me, it was like you're getting married." And that's when he's like, "No, it's nothing like that. It's going to be a couple surprises." So, yeah. They end up going over to the jewelry store, going in there. And that's when he explains that since he couldn't do it right the first time when him and Justine he proposed to her and got married, that he wants to get a nice ring for her. So they end up starting talking, and his sister's like, "Well, why do you want to do this? Is there a certain reason?" Like, she's trying to get him to go ahead and fess up to what we all know. Justine's pregnant. So she's trying to get him to fess up, and she's like, "Well, is it because Justine's pregnant?" And he's like, well, how'd you know that?" And his sister's like, "Oh, I don't know, Mike. Maybe it's because she's talking about cravings, and then you can see her belly. Like, come on, Mike. I mean, common sense. And plus, you told your mama last week. You don't think your mama went right back and told your sister? I mean, come on. Come on. If you know your mama went, as soon as you got off the phone call with her, she went right and dialed your sister's phone number and told her everything. So, yeah, she already knew. I don't know why they keep on trying to hide it. Like, y'all know it was quick. And that's what his sister said, that it was quick. You just got out of prison, and now you're going to have a baby. You're not even giving it time. And that's when she went to an interview that she was doing, one of those off-camera interviews. Excuse me. And she went on the off-camera interview, and she was explaining that it was heartbreaking watching his kids grow up without a father for 6 years. And now he's just coming out and just having another kid without even thinking about it. And it is sad. If you think about it, those kids were without a father for 6 years. And before he gets time enough to get out of jail, get his stuff situated to where he knows he won't go back to jail, he ends up having another kid. So possibly, if you don't get your stuff together, if you didn't have time to get your stuff together and you had this other kid, you might be going back to jail and already made another kid, and now that kid's going to be without a father on top of all your other kids. So it's just heartbreaking to know that his sister probably did a lot of those raising for those kids, and were there a lot of times when those kids were crying wanting their daddy. And she is completely right. For them to have a baby right now, it's crazy. So they end up looking for a ring after that. After she got done with her interview, he ends up looking for a ring. They had a little $2,000 one, looked nice. Then they saw a $5,000 one, which was really nice. Had like a whole bunch of diamonds on the side, everything. And of course, he wanted that one, the most expensive one. And his sister's like, "Y'all have 7 kids. Maybe you shouldn't, spend a whole bunch of money on a ring when you have a whole bunch of babies or a whole bunch of kids about to have a baby? And he's like, well, saying in a confessional that, you know, he knows that it's not financially good to do this, but he don't care. He wants to be able to do something that he wasn't able to do while he was in prison. I get that, but still, Mike, that's a lot of money. You have a lot of kids. So he ends up pulling out cash and explains, you know, in the confessional that he did take some cash, I guess, from their bank account, and he wants to put it back in there before Justine notices it. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I think this is going to be a part of their storyline. Justine's like, where's the money, Mike? And Mike has to explain, where's the money? After she gets a little bit mad, she might think he's cheating, all that. We know how these storylines go. So his producer during the confessional asks, you know, if that don't seem shady. And he's like, well, it only depends on what kind of person you are. And then he wanted to cut off the interview. So I think that's definitely where we're going to. They're going to go to Las Vegas. She's going to notice some money missing, get mad, start asking questions. And then we're going to have to wait till another episode for him to propose to her and her look like she got pie on her face from looking stupid. So this is where we ended. Again, like, subscribe, and share. I'll be bringing out several other Life After Lockups today. Also, if you're interested in 1,000-Pound Sister or Sister Wives, check out those as well. I'll also be doing a little bit of Teen Mom if you're interested in that. Also, I have, as of now, I have 75 subscribers. I'm hoping to get 100 soon. And once that happens, I'll be giving a small gift card away that I can email it to you. So look out for that 100 subscriber video for the giveaway. Thanks, and y'all have a great day.